What's up, guys? It's me, Partywaffles here. I'm a multi 3000 plus rated Death Knight on retail, and I'm here to make a Wrath of the Lich King Season 1 PvP guide for you guys. I'm going to do it the same way as I do on my retail guides. It's going to be quick, concise, to the point, try to keep it under 10 minutes, and let's get right into this. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to talk about here is the spec. We're going to cover the Flavor of the Month spec, which is going to be Unholy, of course. So let's take a look at my build. It's going to be a cookie cutter build, really good. You can succeed very well with this build. So I'm going to scroll through it slowly, alright? We're going to be taking this to increase our spell hit. And I'm going to highlight what this build does, okay? So you guys can copy it. And then I'm just going to go over it very quickly. Okay, so basically what this build is going to do here is we're going to take On a Pale Horse for the CC reduction, which is going to be very nice in PvP. We're going to take Improved Unholy Presence so that we can retain the movement speed as well when we're in another presence, since we're going to have to be in Frost Presence quite a bit when we're fighting melee, things like that. So it's just nice for swapping. Basically, so that's the build around this here. So what you could potentially do is you could not take Improved Unholy Presence, or say you could not take On a Pale Horse, for instance, and you could take Wandering Plague. But this is what I'm going to be taking. So if you want to do what I'm doing in this build, this is going to be it right here. Like I said, you can swap around a couple of those talents if you want. Like, this one also takes Corpse Explosion. You could potentially not take that if you really didn't want it. But here's the thing, right? Corpse Explosion is a big chunk of damage, and the pet casts it himself. So say you could have a Rune Strike queued up while that's exploding, while you're hitting with a Scourge Strike, potential very big damage. And the points for Frost going into this are going to look exactly like this. So you're going to put 17 points into Frost for this build, and the most notable thing here that we're going to be grabbing is going to be the Lichborn and the Endless Winter, because this is good for avoiding CC and healing yourself to full, and the Endless Winter gives you strength and makes your Mind Freeze free, so you can get those crucial Mind Freezes. You don't have to worry about the runic power. Alright, so we're going to take a quick look at Glyphs here, guys. So the Glyphs we're going to be playing for this is going to be the following. Dark Death, Icy Touch, Ghoul. Those are going to be your three majors, and your minors are going to be Glyph of Raised Dead, Glyph of Blood Tap, and Glyph of Death's Embrace. So the reason being for these is because Death Coil is going to be a huge chunkier burst. Glyph of the Ghoul, your Ghoul is going to be, this is going to make your Ghoul a lot more tankier, so it's not just going to fall over to everything, and it's also going to do more damage in the process. And then this is, you're going to have your diseases up on most things most of the time. Chains of Ice applies this, so it's just going to be additional passive damage, basically. So those are the Glyphs. Alright guys, so as far as what gear you want to get, that's going to be very simple and straightforward, okay? You're just going to go for basically full deadly with a couple random off pieces, like a PvE ring for the second ring. You're going to go with the Sigil of Awareness, and you can get a Betrayer of Humanity, or the PvP weapon is fine. I'm just going to pop up an image to show you guys an example, but just try to make yourself look like this. Alright guys, so as far as enchants go, I'm just going to put on the screen right now what the best enchants and everything are for you. So just get everything you see on the picture I'm putting on the screen right now, and you should be good on the enchants. Alright guys, the next thing we're going to be talking about here is stat priority. So this is going to be very important, okay? You're going to want to make sure that you do these in order. So the first one is going to be hit rating. You need to make sure your melee and spell hit capped, okay? That's going to be 5% for melee, 7% for spell, and you have a talent called a Virulence that gives you 3%. So that's going to help you get that spell cap. So the reason this is so important is because you do not want your abilities or your spells to miss, because it's very important. The next thing here is spell penetration. So Paladins are going to have a Shadow Resistance aura, so you're going to need about 135 spell pen so that you can pierce their resistance, because you do not, like I said, you don't want a game-winning Strangulate to get resisted. That would be devastating. So you need to get the spell pen second, and then third is going to be Resilience. You can go for the hard cap or the hybrid, whatever you want. But after that, just keep going down the list. Just prioritize down the list. So Expertise, Strength, Armor Pen, and so on. But the first three are the most important ones, okay? So just make sure you get those caps and spell pen, and we're going to move on to the next thing. Okay, so as far as professions go, the two best professions for you are going to be Jewel Crafting and Engineering. The reason being for this, for Engineering, is going to be the Hyperspeed Accelerator. What this does is it's an on-use that you add to your gloves, and every 1 minute you can use it, and increases your haste rating by 340 for 12 seconds. So it's basically an extra trinket for your gloves. So I'll just use it right here. See that? Boom. And what it does, the haste, you can use it when you pop your gargoyle, because your gargoyle snapshots off all the buffs that you have at the time when you press it. So it will juice up your gargoyle and make it hit a lot faster with the haste. The other one is going to be Jewel Crafting. And the reason for Jewel Crafting is going to be if you're a jewel crafter, you get access to 3 epic gems that only jewel crafters can have. So you can get flat strength gems that do huge amounts of strength for you. So those 2 are going to be the best professions for you, for sure. Alright guys, so what we're going to talk about now is just your rotation and your burst rotation and just some things to know. So first of all, Horn of Winter and Bone Shield, alright? You're going to press these basically on cooldown. The Horn of Winter, if you have nothing else to press in your DPS rotation, you're going to weave it in and you're going to press it at the start of the game. So also we have runes, okay? So we have 2 Blood, 2 Frost, 2 Unholy. So the Blood runes, you're going to be converting with Blood Strike into Death runes so that you can Scourge Strike 3 times as opposed to only twice. Because Scourge Strike is going to take 1 Frost and 1 Unholy. Same as Death Strike. So your rotation is going to be, at the very basic, it's going to be like this. Icy Touch, Plague Strike, Scourge Strike, Blood Strike. And that's going to convert these into Death runes, which is going to let you Death Strike or Scourge Strike 3 times. So as far as Rune Strike, basically just press it on cooldown. It's going to take priority over Death Coil. It's going to do more damage. Death Coil will apply your Unholy Blight though. I'm going to show you it right now, okay? So Icy Touch, Plague Strike, Scourge Strike, Blood Strike converts those 2 runes right there into Death runes. And then so what we have here, the runes are going to come back. So what we could do now is we could drop a Gargoyle and we could Scourge Strike 3 times again instantly while the Gargoyle is out. And then we can drop 2 more Death Coils. Or we could have dropped a Corpse Explosion. And then we can also Empowered Rune Weapon to once we have all our runes converted and we use them all, we can Empower Rune Weapon and drop another 3 Scourge Strikes. So that's going to be the burst rotation kind of baked right into the general rotation. So I'm going to go over that one more time. So the general rotation is going to be Icy Touch, Plague Strike, Scourge Strike, and then convert both your runes, whether it's with Blood Strike or it's with Pestilence, because they'll both do it. Or, yeah, Pestilence. So I'll show you just the normal rotation. Dot number 1, dot number 2, Scourge Strike, Blood Strike, Blood Strike. There it is. And then you can just dump a Death Coil, or you can just wait. You can Blood Tap to get more runes back, drop more Scourge Strikes. But that's basically it, you know. Just apply your diseases, convert your Blood runes, and then Scourge Strike and dump Death Coils. Another use for the Death Coil is going to be healing your pet, okay? So you'll notice right here, boom, my pet's not taking any damage, I can't do it. But, so if you make a macro, you can cast Death Coil on your pet, and if you also make another macro, you can cast Death Coil on yourself during Lichborn. So you can heal your pet, and you can heal yourself with Death Coil, so that's the other use for it. Like I said though, as far as bursting goes, just do the same rotation you just opened with, but then get your Gargoyle out, and then you could pop an Empowered Rune Weapon and just do another 3 Scourge Strikes. So basically the whole goal here is to be dumping Scourge Strikes while your Gargoyle is doing damage. Also, you have Corpse Explosion since we're spec'd into it. So another thing, the way Corpse Explosion works is like this. Say you're doing your combo. Your Gargoyle is hitting this guy right now. So what you're going to do for your Corpse Explosion combo is while your Gargoyle is going, you're going to pet Gnaw, which is your stun. And then you're going to Gnaw and you're going to explode your pet. And look, while your pet's exploding, while the pet is exploding, you can be hitting at the same time. So you're going to stack all this damage. You're going to stack your Gargoyle hit. You're going to stack your pet explosion hit. You're going to stack a Scourge Strike. You're going to stack an auto attack. And potentially even a Rune Strike if you have a proc. So with all those damage stacking, you're going to do a huge chunk of damage with that burst. And yeah, that's pretty much as far as it goes for burst. Just do the same diseases, Scourge Strikes, convert your runes, more Scourge Strikes. Death Strike if you need heals. Death and Decay if people are stacked up. Pestilence if they're stacked up to spread your diseases. And that's pretty much it. Just get the Gargoyle out and, you know, end the game. As far as presences go, you're mostly going to be an Unholy Presence. You're not really going to worry about Blood Presence. You're mostly going to be Unholy Presence or Frost Presence if you're fighting melee that you need to tank out. A lot of people are going to go you, so if you have to tank them out, go Frost Presence. But most of the time, you're going to be an Unholy Presence. One other thing to note here is that we're playing Unholy Blight, so you're going to run to Death Coil all the targets that have your dot on them a lot of the time, because Death Coil is going to make it so your dot can't be dispelled because it's going to apply the Unholy Blight. So that's one thing to remember. And another important thing to remember here, a final note here, is your Gargoyle. When you summon Gargoyle, it's going to take it's going to take a snapshot of all the buffs that you have. So all the things that increase your AP and haste, it's going to take a snapshot of. And in the entire time that it's up, it's going to be using those stats. So you want to make sure you press your Gargoyle on a lot of procs, right? So say like a Fallen Crusader and a Trinket proc, and then use your Accelerator on your gloves at the same time. You want to do it with the most procs possible because it's going to have it for the whole 30 seconds. So yeah. But yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything here today. If there's anything I didn't cover, you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask in the comments below. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe hit the subscribe button. And I am a streamer more so than a YouTuber, so if you want to check me out live, I am streaming 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Partywaffles. And I will be playing Wrath and all kinds of DK arenas there, so check it out. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Peace.